Here's the huge interview, all right? Trump talked to Sean Hannity after meeting with Putin. By the way, Trump said in this interview he regrets taking the interview ahead of time. It went that bad. But he still did the interview. Let's see what he says. This is going to be a big one.
And welcome to Hannity. And tonight we are back at Joint Base Elmendorf, Richardson, and we are in beautiful Anchorage, Alaska, and the historic summit between President Donald Trump and President from Russia, Vladimir Putin, is now in the books. But not before Vladimir got an up-close look at the power, the sophistication, the strength, the might of the U.S. military with this incredible, perfectly timed flyover featuring a B-2 stealth bomber and 4 F-35 stealth fighters. Now, following...
This is the way North Korea does propaganda, by the way. No powerful military does propaganda like this, all right? If you're a lethal fighting force, if you're a strong military, you don't need to show people. If you show people like this, you look like a dictator state because they need propaganda to survive. No one cares about this shit. It's such a Russia, such a tin pot dictator type thing to do.
That epic show.
Who cares?
Both leaders.
Wow, they don't know. You think Russia, who's hacking our entire federal database right now, doesn't know what kind of equipment we have? You really think they don't know? Wow.
For roughly 3 hours. What happened? How did the meeting go?
You really
and
showed
what's next
Putin.
for
He's
Russia
scared
and Ukraine?
now.
Joining us now
As you massage his butt.
Post-summit interview, the president of our great country, sir. How are you?
Thank you very much.
We're glad you could be here.
Thank you.
So, you said before the interview, you said in 2
Vladimir,
minutes.
you see my big bombs?
I will know. I watched very closely when you met him on the red carpet after both your planes landed.
Trump was jumping like this, by the way. When Trump met Putin on the red carpet, he was like, oh, Putin, oh my God, thank you for meeting with me. As if we're a dumb, dipshit, tiny country. We're America. And we had to beg Putin. And Putin set the terms of where to meet. All right, after months and months and months. Putin talked first to the press. Putin dictated everything. Putin steamrolled Trump. Even Fox News is embarrassed for how bad Trump did.
What vibe did you get in 2 minutes?
Well, you know, I always had a great relationship with President Putin.
What did I tell you guys? Stroke Trump's ego. He is in a relationship with Putin. He views Putin as... He envies Putin. He wants to be Putin.
And we would have done great things together in terms of, you know, their land.
We would have done great things together. Okay, easily clocked. I'm sorry,
it's incredible.
I'm sorry. It's...
And we would have done great things together in terms of, you know, their land is incredible.
We could have been together.
The rare earth, the oil, gas, everything. It's incredible. It's the largest piece of land in the world as a nation by far. I think they have 11 time zones, if you can believe it. That's big stuff.
Is Trump doing Russian propaganda right off the bat? Did Putin tell Trump how powerful Russia is with all the rare earth minerals and tell Trump we got to do business with each other? And now Trump is reiterating the exact points Putin just told him. Is Trump talking about Russia right now?
But we would have done a lot of great things, but we had the Russia hoax, which...
Wait. Okay. The Russia hoax. Again, what did I say? This is my first time watching this. It just came out. What did I say about them being in a homoerotic relationship?
Stopped us from doing that. We would have done so great, but we had the greatest, one of the great hoaxes. I mean, there were others like the election itself, as you know, as you covered better than anyone.
He goes into election denial. Another propaganda point Russia told him to say. Russia created the entire fake election scandal, by the way. The entire narrative around that fake election was done by Russia. Russia's propaganda goals is to create social conflict and division within the countries they want to occupy, because if the civil society collapses there, they are easier to control and manipulate as a state.
But it was a rigged election and a horrible thing that took place in 2020. But
why, again, we're talking about Ukraine, Russia. They met today. He said, how did it feel to meet Trump on the red carpet? And Trump is detailing it like he just met again with a long lost lover. He's reminiscing on the great times they had together.
We would have had a great relationship, but we did amazingly well considering, you know, he would look and see what happened. He would think we're crazy, you know, with the made-up Russia hoax. So we had something very important, and we had a very good meeting today, but we'll see. I mean, it's, you know, you have to get a deal. We agreed on a lot of points. I want to see people stop dying in Ukraine, and that's what's happening. We're losing 5, 6, 7,000. They're Russians, mostly Russians, and they're Ukrainian soldiers. There's some people dying in cities and towns where they're trying to blow up missile manufacturers and other things in some cities.
Oh, so now Trump is sweeping for the Russian lie that they're blowing up missile manufacturers when they bomb schools. Remember, they bombed Christian sites of worship on Palm Sunday in Ukraine. Russia bombed Ukraine. Christians in Ukraine. They double tap them. A double tap is when you bomb people first. You bomb civilians initially in a country like Ukraine. Then you wait for the aid workers to come and save lives. And you bomb again to kill the aid workers. Russia was doing that during one of our holiest weeks. All right? In America for Christianity. And not in just America, but for all of Christianity. And Trump did not say a single thing.
I don't know if you know what's going on there, but there are a lot of people dying.
But yeah, he's shooting missiles. When Putin shoots apartment complexes, he's shooting missile silos, of course.
We can end that war. It would be very good. And I was very happy to hear him say, if I was president, that war would have never happened.
Mr. President, that...
Putin just told you what you want to hear, you dumb, big-ass, dumbass buffoon. This guy's such a dumb bitch, bro. I'm sorry for the gendered language as a liberal, but holy shit, there's no other word to describe such a pathetic piece of shit pushover, asshole, weak, worthless, diaper rash. Holy shit.
That was my next question. He said at the joint press conference...
He said, I'm a good boy. He said I should have won the election. He said we went through so much together with the Russia hoax. He said that if I was president, the war would have started. Like, I think he really likes me.
Said, and you have said this many, many times, and he confirmed for the world today, that if you were president, this wouldn't have happened. Did any of the specifics come up as to why he said that?
Y'all are so gullible.
It doesn't matter
Holy
at
shit,
this
you're
point.
gullible.
But
oh yeah, what in particular would Putin have just like not? Okay.
This war should never have happened. You know, a lot of wars should never have happened.
How
It was stupid
was it
things
gonna
go
work?
down
I can't tell you the
wrong
actual
people
facts
are
about
talking,
it.
But Biden was a terrible president in so many ways.
Classic.
He should have never let it happen. And
Putin hated Biden and never let it happen. How are they never going to let it happen? Trump right now, again, airstrikes in Ukraine went up. They quadrupled when Trump took office over Biden. Putin hated Biden. Putin loves Trump. Think about that. Putin loves Trump. Putin hates Biden. How was Biden going to stop the full invasion? There was fighting in Ukraine with Russia trying to invade parts of Ukraine during Trump's presidency. That's why there were ceasefires in like 2019. All right, we had 2014, 2015, 2019. We have a bunch of them. But Trump is too stupid to know that, apparently.
it did. There are millions of people killed. I mean, it's the worst thing since I see everyone saying worst since World War II by far. There's nothing even close. But we had a very good meeting today, and I think a lot of points were negotiated on behalf.
Oh, what points? What points? What points?
Of Ukraine and on behalf of the whole
Ukraine was
NATO
not
situation where we're dealing very well with a lot of foreign countries that are great, European countries. Look, as far as I'm concerned, there's no deal until there's a deal. But we did make a lot of progress.
The meeting took place in this room.
Yeah.
This is where you met. Right in this room.
Did. Well, let me examine it. Oh, there it is.
That's where you were sitting.
That's it. I would say that's it. Yep.
So did you have alone time with him?
Yeah, I did. I did actually after our speeches. He made a very good speech, and I also finished it up. And afterwards, we spoke. Right after that, we spoke very sincerely. I think he wants to see it done.
Yeah.
This guy is a cuck. Trump is such a dumbass. He's such a weak, pathetic piece of garbage. Like, he's literally a brain-dead human being. He is easily swooned by anyone. Imagine, do you think this guy said no to Epstein when Epstein gave him a chance to have a really fun night? Do you really think a guy with this lack of willpower and self-respect and principle said no to Epstein?
In your press conference, you talked about a lot of things that you agreed on, and maybe one big issue you don't agree on. Are you prepared to go public with that?
No, I'd rather not. I guess somebody's going to go public with it. They'll figure it out. But no, I don't want to do that. I want to see if we can get it done.
Someone said, don't go public. Someone said Joe Law's a dumbass. You can keep that. You don't got to delete that. You can keep the brain dead ones. You don't got to delete those. You can keep those comments. You're good.
You know, it's not a done deal at all. Mm-hmm. And Ukraine has to agree. I mean, President Zelensky has to agree.
Yeah, the TDS comments. We want the comments for the algorithm.
It's a terrible war
for the
where he's losing
engagement.
a lot, and both of them are. And hopefully it can get completed. That'll be a great achievement for them. Forget about me. Yeah. For them. And you'll save 7,000 lives a week.
When has Trump ever said "forget about me" in a conversation? Unless if Pookie Putin's involved.
That's a lot.
I spoke very briefly to Secretary of State Rubio, and he did say to me, he goes, there's a difference when you're in the same room together than versus, you know, talking to each other through the press.
In the same room, the tension gets so hot.
You know,
even through the phone.
It's not the same thing. When you're on a telephone, it's not the same thing either. This was, I mean, we were together almost.
He better not say something. Okay, he's already saying something that sounds like a relationship. He's already saying the sexual tension is gonna get high. He better not say anything at all that sounds somewhat relationship involved whatsoever. Please, Trump.
Thing when you're on a telephone, it's not the same thing either. This was, I mean, we were together almost 3 hours. And it was very extensive, and we agreed on a lot of points. I mean, a lot of points were agreed on.
Like
There's
what?
not that much. There's, you know, one or two pretty significant items, but
Like
I
what?
think they can be reached. Now it's really up to President Zelensky to get it done.
Zelensky has signed minerals deals with America. Ukraine has agreed to meetings and summits with Russia on multiple occasions. Ukraine has done pretty much anything America has wanted them to do, other than just give up their entire country to Russia. That's their line. They don't want to give up, internationally recognized sovereign territory. But other than that, Ukraine has done everything America wants. But Trump yelled at Zelensky. Trump still yells at Ukraine. Trump still blames them. After Trump said that Putin embarrassed him, Trump said Putin embarrassed me. We have such eloquent conversations on the phone, and I look on the TV and Putin's bombing another grandma. What a dumbass, bro.
And I would also say the European nations, they have to get involved a little bit. But
super sweet
it's up
to
to
him. Super
President
sweet.
Zelensky. I think we are, and if they'd like, I'll be at that next meeting. They're going to set up a meeting now between President Zelensky and President Putin. And myself, I guess, you know, I didn't ask you about it. Not that I want to be there, but I want to make sure it gets done. And we have a pretty good chance of getting it done.
If you had to grade it on a scale of 1 to 10,
now we're talking about, so Trump said multiple times, there's a couple points here, a couple points there, a couple things we agreed on, a couple things we didn't agree on. He has not said shit. And now Sean Hannity needs to talk to him like he's a 2-year-old with CTE that got in multiple car crashes and fell down 25 flights of stairs. He needs to say, all right, buddy, how good did it go from scales 1 to 10? It could be a 1 for not good and a 10 for good. Or even if you want to use 11 for super good, you can. It's so...
So I think the meeting was a 10 in the sense that we got along great, and it's good when...
This guy is so stupid. Holy shit, bro. If you listen to this as a self-respecting human being in general, bro, please have self-respect. Please have self-respect, bro. Kamala Harris, okay, she's annoying. I don't like Kamala. She's not my candidate. I voted for her, 100%. When Kamala said Trump can be easily flattered by foreign leaders on that debate stage, that was Trump's intel report. She pretty much exposed Trump's intel report. And everything about this conversation right now is 100% validating her. I've never seen a politician sound this stupid at any level of government. And I've seen every school board you could see in America.
You know, two big powers get along, especially when they're nuclear powers. You know, we're number one, they're number two in the world. And it's a big deal. That's a big deal. You never want to even mention that word, the word nuclear. But
the N-word.
We have a tremendous nuclear. You know, I rebuilt it when I was...
That's how you know the meeting went bad. Because Trump always says, don't say the word nuclear. I mean the N-word. He always makes a joke there. That's how you know Mr. Trumpy's not feeling too good.
President, first term. And I hated to rebuild it. It was the one thing I hated to rebuild, but we had to. And we have the greatest nuclear force. We have the greatest military in the world, actually. And they have a big nuclear presence also.
I have a question for the chat that's watching this. I'm live streaming right now. Thank you for watching. Please drop a like, comment, subscribe. What is the purpose of having more nuclear warheads? Why would we care about having more nuclear warheads? Just the diversity and versatility of the warheads? By diversity, I do mean gay warheads and black warheads, of course, and white warheads. But no, like the versatility, having more of them, more spread out across the globe. Why would you need 6,000 nukes? I feel like nukes are kind of a done deal. Why would you need 6,000 nukes? Or like, I see France has 300, China has 300. Wouldn't 300 get the job done?
Oh, you gotta respect it. You
always have to respect it. You never want to use it. If you use that, it could be the end of the world. That's the kind of power we're talking about.
Someone said to be number one. True, we got to be number one. Why not?
Let's talk about what
be the very
brought
best.
President Putin to the table. I would argue that there are four things in my mind. If you think there are more or you don't.
Peace through strength. Ukraine is a big meanie pants.
I don't think they were a factor.
Super tough sanctions.
The trade deal with the European Union.
Trade deal with the EU.
In that deal, you got nearly $1 trillion in commitments to purchase American oil.
That never happened. There's no commitment involved. There's projections. There's a light reinforcement of projections.
That's money that would otherwise be funding Putin's war machine. That's number one. India, 50% tariffs if they import Russian oil. Also, Vladimir Putin wasn't moving at a speed you were comfortable with, so you said you would, unlike Biden, you wouldn't give weapons to Ukraine, you would sell weapons to Ukraine. The last thing, and I don't think it could be underestimated, is NATO is now paying twice what they were paying, and those countries that weren't paying their fair share are. Were those the four factors that brought him into this room today?
Well, NATO is now paying 5% as opposed to 2%, and they're paying.
That's not happening.
And, you know, look, it's headed
That's
by, as you know Mark very well. It's a great guy and great people.
I love when the president says
leaders, I got to know him very well about 6 weeks ago. And great relationship with NATO. European.
You know, you hear people criticize. I'm sorry for pausing. It's my channel. If you want to watch the full interview, go watch the full interview. I hear people talk about Biden and he's super tired and he can't run things. Can people ever talk about what Biden actually said about anything? About like the Chips and Science Act, about Russia, about China? Do they know any word he said? Or are their primitive brains too stupid to know what he said? They just hear like, Joe Biden old, Kamala high tax, Trump low tax, Kamala bad, Trump good. You know those dumbass signs they use for the election? Do they just think in 2-word couplets?
Mark, you know Mark very well. It's a great guy and great people. The leaders, I got to know him very well about 6 weeks ago. And
I'm sorry, couplet means more than one line. Whatever.
Great relationship with
What's
NATO,
the word for
European nations, basically, but a great relationship. I don't want to say anything brought him to the table. He's a very smart guy. Nothing brought him to the table, so to speak. I think that he respects our country now. He didn't respect it under Biden, I can tell you that. He had no respect for it. I was so happy when he said this would have never happened. All those lives would be saved if they had if we had a competent president, those lives would have been saved. It's so sad. You know, I've negotiated 5 wars to their end, and wars that were tough. India,
Actually, I
Pakistan.
have 7. India, Pakistan, Israel, Iran in 12 days. Rwanda,
in 12 days. There's no evidence Trump had anything to do with any of those at all.
Congo, Serbia, Kosovo, Cambodia, Thailand, Azerbaijan, Armenia.
Right now, they should ask Trump, all right, pick one of those conflicts and tell me something about
Egypt, Cambodia.
Tell me about Egypt and Cambodia. All right, Trump, tell me what happened in Cambodia. How did you stop the war in Cambodia? Please explain. Do you know what Cambodia is? Is it a county in America, or is it a country or a continent? Okay, Trump. What are the 3 branches of... Do you think Trump can answer what are the 3 branches of government? Do you think he can answer that question? I really don't think so.
You played a role in all of those, did you not?
I did. I didn't want to include the decimation of the nuclear arsenal because I don't consider it necessarily, conclusive. But we did something amazing because for 22 years, no president was willing to do it. We decimated the nuclear capability, potential nuclear capability, which I think would have taken...
Not true. I don't want to pause. I'm sorry. UN said this is not true. Israel said this is not true. American intelligence said this is not true. Iran says this is not true. There's no evidence any capabilities were broken. Maybe a few month delay at most. But when Trump says that, it's completely not verified, not true. We annoyed them, if anything. Now they have a higher incentive now to build a nuclear weapon than ever before. We killed the negotiators as we were negotiating. They are probably going to race towards a nuclear weapon faster than ever before.
Taken place within a month of Iran, and that was a big thing.
I have to go back. This is too historic and deep and profound. At a press conference, the president of Russia stated something that you had stated many, many times, and maybe your political opponents might have dismissed. But he said this war would not have taken place if you were president. Now, he did give you behind-the-scenes specific reasons why it happened
What are
under
the reasons?
Biden.
What are the reasons?
He did give you reasons.
Yeah, he did, but
tell me the reasons.
I know the reason. It's gross incompetence. I mean...
Oh, yeah. It's because he's a dum-dum. Putin told me it's because Biden dum-dum.
We have a border that's totally closed now.
Why would this conflict in Eastern Europe and Asia with Russia and Ukraine? Why would you have prevented that conflict? Because Biden's stupid, and because I closed the border.
And people come in, but they come in legally. But we had zero, as you know. The first time you heard it was 3 months ago, but we've done it now 3 times in a row. 0 people coming in illegally. We have many things that are going well now. Our economy is great. We don't have
Yes, the economy going well would have prevented Putin.
Inflation.
Yes.
The price of
actually, inflation now is higher than it was under Biden, and Biden got the COVID inflation. The current inflation is all Trump. Trump is a pandemic himself.
Energy is down. The price of groceries are down.
Not true. Not true. Not true. Not true. By every metric, not true.
Price of everything is down. People are
not
happy.
True. Trump says gas prices are $1.90. By the way, $1.90. Trump says.
Saving Social Security. You saw that the other day, where we have a genius in charge. I took him out of J.P. Morgan Chase. He was the head of, one of the top people in there, and he did great. He went to one of the big funds. One of the top people. That they take a cut. I think he said he's working for 1% of what he was working for.
Remember, the question was, Sir Trump, in foreign policy, all right, how would you being president have prevented the Russian invasion of Ukraine? All right, that's the question.
These are unbelievable people. And the job he's done in Social Security and making it really powerful and strong is amazing. And we've done that with many things. I love doing it. I love seeing this country be great again. And Vladimir said just a little while ago, he said, I've never seen anybody do.
Pookie Bear complimented me. He complimented me, guys. Oh my goodness, he's so nice.
Great again. And Vladimir said just a little while ago, he said, I've never seen anybody do so much so fast. He said, your country is like hot as a pistol. And a year ago, he thought it was dead. Everybody thought it was dead.
Let me ask you this.
Yes, Russia thought America was dead. Russia, the wartime economy, petro state that can barely survive on its own 2 feet as a modern nation in any way, that can barely handle fighting Ukraine as a country, even with the help of China and Iranian technology. That country, Putin, is going to say that he thought America was dead to Trump. Again, it's just telling Trump what he wants to hear.
We mentioned, to whatever degree history will judge your involvement in the 7 conflicts we mentioned, and this conflict in particular. However they will end up judging you, I don't think any other world leader would have been able to set up this meeting today. You're expending a lot of political capital. I've watched a lot of leaders.
No one else could have been as good as you are, Daddy Trump. No one else was as good as you are, my master. Thank you, Mr. Trump. Mr. Trump is like God to me.
I've been doing this since 1987 when I started my radio career. It's a long
so
time.
Amazing, Mr.
And I've
Trump.
seen a lot of presidents come and go,
Stroke
a lot of world leaders come and
Stroke
go.
the ego.
And you're willing to expend political capital. All of the conflicts that I mentioned, including this one, this does not impact the United States as much as it does our allies in Europe.
It's true.
The Middle East, when we get involved in the Middle East, but you're doing it anyway. Now, why? Is it to save lives? Do you want to save a world?
Yeah, number one, to save lives in all cases, because wars are wars. When you see what would have happened with Cambodia as an example. Now, I'm not involved, but I was involved in negotiating a trade deal, and I said, you guys are going to be fighting Thailand, Cambodia, so many different. Look at India. Take a look at India and Pakistan.
What the hell is this guy saying?
And they were shooting down airplanes already, and that would have been maybe nuclear. I would have said it was going to go nuclear, and I was able to get it done. Number one is lives, and number two is everything else. Wars are very bad, and if you can avoid them, and I seem to have an ability to end them, to get people together. I use the power of the United States. We have got the greatest economy now in the world. We have trillions, not billions, trillions of dollars, or millions. We have trillions of dollars pouring into our coffers. I'm getting calls from people in government saying, where did I get the $29 billion from? I said, why don't you try the tariff shelf? And, we have, as an example, the European nation.
Check the tariff shelf? That money from the tariffs is American tax revenue. That's American businesses and consumers paying for those goods. That's why inflation is peaking right now, higher than it did under Biden, after COVID. Every tariff revenue is American taxpayer dollars. And Trump seriously thinks it's from other countries and magical money that appeared from somewhere. Magical money.
We made a great deal. They pay us literally trillions of dollars. Japan, so many. And you know what? They like us better. They respect us. They didn't respect us. They were paying us nothing. Nothing. We were paying them. They weren't paying us. And I turned it around, and we're actually a very rich country now. You know, I told you my favorite word is
guys,
the
we're
word
so
tariff.
rich. We're so rich now.
I actually made that a little bit later because I got criticized by the fake news. You know, they said, what about religion? What about family?
Well, how many countries now have you made trade deals with, and how much is it incoming?
Many
all
of them, and well, basically all of them, because I
he did say all of them, dude. He said all of them. He said all of them, dude. Hell yeah.
He said, what about religion? What
All
about
of them.
family?
Well, how many countries now have you made
Bro,
trade?
Democrats got to do this shit. Hey, how many jobs did you make? All of them, bro.
Deals
all
with,
of
and how
them.
much is it incoming?
Many of them, and well, basically all of them, because I made along with some great people, as you know them very well. They're on your show, but I made.
I did not watch it before. This just came out. I promise this is my first time watching it. This guy is just so brain dead. It's
12
easy to
or
predict what he's
13
going
of
to
the
say.
big ones. In other words, we made the big deals, and the rest we just assign a tariff to. And we do that by gut instinct. We do that by how we're doing generally, the relationship, and we do it also by deficits. If we're losing a lot of money with a country, you got to pay us a tariff. We got to make it even. We want to balance it out.
Again. Remember, whenever he says that, the country is not paying us. They are taxing their own people 1%. We are taxing our people 40% to do imports. All right, they are not paying us. They are not paying us. Remember, those countries are not paying us. Those countries are not paying us.
And I was generous to a lot. Some of them we lose so much money that frankly, you'll never make it up. And if they're people that have been great to us as a country, then I take it a little bit easy. But for years, we've been a laughingstock all over the world, the way they took advantage of us. Now, in my first term, I did it, but we got hit with COVID. We had the greatest economy in the history of our country in my first term, but at the end of it, we got hit with a thing called COVID. You may have heard of it. And it decimated the world, the whole world. And we did a phenomenal job, Operation Warp Speed. A lot of people say it was one of the most incredible things they've ever seen, Operation Warp Speed.
For what? Wait, that vaccine that you made that your entire fan base is against because your entire fan base is a stupid?
What we did a great job. But this was a tremendous problem for everybody. I mean, every country, even China, in all fairness, they got hit much later. People thought they avoided it. They got hit very hard. Everybody got hit. But
I'm telling you, if you say stop pausing, you're getting banned. If you say stop pausing, you're getting banned.
We did a job like nobody's seen, and we came back, and we had a country that was respected again. And then we had this person get in there that had no right being president. He lost the election by a lot. His whole group was radical left, crazy people. And I'll tell you, our country was we were in a whole heap of trouble. And if that whole ideology didn't change, I think our country would have been dead. You know, they say it. I was with also the King of Saudi Arabia, the head of Qatar, the head of UAE about 3 months ago now already. The time flies. And they put up $5.1 trillion investment in our country, and we have about $17 trillion coming into our country.
They don't have $5.1 trillion of investment. What's the entire GDP of Qatar?
It's like we've never seen before. And by the way, this is after 6 months. This is this is after 6 months. We never had numbers like that after years. And our country is so hot, and we're building so many factories. The car companies that left, they're pouring back. The AI, which is a hot thing, we're leading China by a lot. We're leading everybody with AI. You know, a lot of these geniuses that you read about, they really are geniuses. I hope they're right. They're spending $50 billion to build a plant and $90 billion. You know, you think of $50 million for building a plant. No, they're building $50 billion, $90 billion. They're going to Arizona. They're going all over the country. Arizona's a hot spot, but they're going all over the country. And we're way ahead of everybody else. And, the biggest problem they had, they couldn't do the energy because the energy is massive. We need more electricity by twice than we have right now. In other words, as a country, we produce a lot of electricity. We need double that electricity at least to win the AI fight. Can you believe that one industry needs it? And so you can't just do that off the grid. The grid is old and it's fine, but it's old and tired and is subject to all sorts of problems. And I came up with an idea. I'm going to let you build your own electric plant.
Bro.
So we have these companies building these massive factories of intelligence, factories of genius, I call it.
I'm sweating right now.
And they build their own electric plant with it. And I say, build them big. And we have a great person, Lee Zeldin, is approving them very quickly and environmentally friendly and all of that, but very, very quickly. And an amazing thing's happening. Wait till you see what happens when these things start to open.
Thank you for $10. The British Empire not only trafficked drugs, but also industrialized addiction, using it as a tool of imperial control from 19th century opium dens in China to today's narcotic trade. Interesting. Thank you for $10, kid.
Let me go back to this issue of Ukraine and Russia for a second. Most people, as they analyze this from the outside, this is how they,
Trump
almost
does not
everybody's
want to
kind of
talk about
universal
Ukraine,
thinking,
Russia.
how this
He
ends.
wants to do anything
There's going
but
to be some
talk
land
about this.
swaps. There will be more Russian territory than there had been. And what Ukraine wants and needs desperately is our security measures that won't be NATO related. If you had to look into your crystal ball, is that how it ends?
Well, I think those are points that we negotiated, and those are points that we largely have agreed on, actually. I think we've agreed on a lot. And I can tell you, the meeting was a very warm meeting. You know, he's a strong guy, he's tough as hell, and all of that.
It's a very warm meeting. He's a strong guy, tough as hell, but he's also very gentle. Pookie Bear Putin always gives me his soft spot.
But the meeting was a very warm meeting between two very important countries, and it's very good when they get along. I think we're pretty close to a deal. Now, look, Ukraine has to agree to it. Maybe they'll say no, because Biden handed out money like it was candy, and Europe gave him a lot of money. You know, we gave him $350 billion. Europe gave him much less, but still a lot, $100 billion.
What would your advice based on today? When you
America and Europe gave equal amounts of money. It's very similar. Okay, we did not give $350 billion. Trump says that shit too because you're pushovers and you never hold him accountable.
talk to Vladimir Zelensky, what's your advice to
Make a deal.
Make the deal?
Got to make a deal, yeah. Look, Russia's a very big power. And they're not. They're great soldiers, and they have great, but, you know, they also had the best equipment. You know, they had our equipment. And I gave them javelins, if you remember, in my first term. In fact, there was a statement. I gave javelins. You remember the statement. I gave javelins, and Obama gave, because it was Obama at that time, Obama gave them sheets. And that's true. I gave javelins, and a lot of tanks were knocked out because of the javelins. The javelins, incredible weapon. It's a tank. You know, you look at this big, powerful tank. It ends up being a ball of metal lying on the ground and burning. I've never seen anything like it. We have the greatest military equipment in the world, but they did have courage in fighting. And, you know, they're fighting a big war machine. And we, I think, are close to a deal, but I don't like saying it. I always say, if I'm really close, I say 50-50, because so many things can happen. But I think President Putin would like to solve the problem, and it was a problem that should have never happened. This was a war. All of those families that lost somebody, and I have a book of thousands of people. They presented me with it today. Thousands of people, prisoners that will get released. We have more than 1,000 prisoners.
That was agreed to today?
Well, they have to accept them. You know, they're going to release them. They have to accept them. I have a book of every. It's so sad to see. And then you have another book of people that are dead, and they have dead bodies all over, thousands of them that they want to switch between the two countries.
And you saw the pictures?
I saw pictures of the dead, yeah, of some of the dead, but I saw pictures of over 1,000 people that are prisoners, yeah, today.
Let me ask you.
They got javelins in fall 2021.
That we can get back.
Okay, so you're cutting into Russia's main source of energy, a main source of income, which is energy.
You hate capitalism, Jola. Wait, you hate capitalism, but you type that rant on an iPhone made by billionaires. You're a dumbass.
Deal with the European Union. You tell India, if you keep importing oil from Russia, we're going to put a 50% tax on you. The other big importer would be China. My understanding is you've had conversations
more of a
with President
capitalist
Xi.
than you are.
Any
You're a
conversations about Russia, Ukraine?
So Biden did something that was unthinkable. He drove, and Obama too. I stopped it, and then, you know, we had a tragedy happen, actually. It was a tragedy. The election was a tragedy. But he did something that was unthinkable. He drove China and Russia together. That's not good. If you are just...
Russia and China are naturally going to be drawn together geographically when it comes to overall strategy, geopolitical strategy. I'll talk like Kamala. When it comes to geopolitical strategy, we have the big geo, that means the planet, the globe, and strategy, which means like how you do things. When it comes to like anti-Western states, of course Russia and China are going to work together. They don't like each other, but they're going to come together to topple America, which is what they're doing right now with Trump. Trump is helping them topple America. Take it for $5. Take it for $5. The Balkan route wants a path for heroin into Europe, now sees Russia's war, creating new black markets for drugs, arms, and other nefarious activities. I don't know how to verify those claims. If someone in chat can, thank you $5, kid. For $5.
It's a minor student of history. It's the one thing you didn't want to do, because they're basically natural enemies. Russia has tremendous amounts of land. China has tremendous amounts of people, and China needs Russia land. But because of pure stupidity.
Yeah, China has no land. China has no land, bro.
They were driven together. And you know what? That's what it is. I don't know that it's going to stay that way, because it really is. There's a natural friction there. But I think that today's meeting went really well. And I think maybe we'll have a good result. But I just don't like to talk about it. That's why I agreed to do your interview. And I said, you know what, I'll do it, Sean. But that was like 2 days ago. I had no idea that. I said, Sean, are you going to ask me about what we
basically
just
say on national TV, I regret saying yes to doing this.
Yeah,
interview.
I shouldn't have done it, but that's okay.
You don't have to.
By the way, I have to say to the audience,
Because it went bad?
this guy's a fantastic person. He's a great patriot. You love the country.
I love our country.
You are a very smart cookie. For anybody that ever questioned that, which I don't think there are too many.
You're a very smart cookie. A grown man telling another... You're a very smart cookie. You're a very smart cookie, dude. That's what Putin said to Trump before Trump got down on both knees and got his mouth open.
And just an outstanding man.
I love the fact that there's a possibility of peace everywhere. This is not insignificant. I agree with you. I don't like to see the dying. I don't think I'd want to see the books that you saw today.
I didn't like looking. I was very sad to watch and see.
When you talked before coming here about the consequences for Vladimir Putin being severe, I found that interesting. Severe would be defined by me. India doesn't buy your oil.
Thank you for $10, Brandon. Thank you for $10. Even though you flaked on the dono promise on Venmo, thank you for $10. Joel Up Politics. Listen, I did a dono thing yesterday where I said I was going to stream 10 hours. I only got to 5 hours. Then I said I was going to stream 6 hours today, all right, to make up for it, because I got to like 11 hours total. My air conditioner broke today. It almost blew up. It almost blew up last night. All right. Today I had to tend to the air conditioner. I had to figure that out. So I was tired. I did not have enough time. I got on late today. I have a wedding to go to tomorrow. I did not have time to do this to do the 6 hours today. I will do it on Sunday. All right. I had a tough day. I need some understanding. Please drop a like, comment, and subscribe. Joel Up Politics, my channel name on Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal to the new air conditioner fund. Would really appreciate help on the new air conditioner. Joel Up Politics and Cash App, PayPal, or Venmo, and the coffee link in my description. I'm still going to do the 6 hour stream on Sunday. Today, things came up, okay?
Well, the European Union won't buy it.
I'm sorry.
And why in the back of my head was I thinking, wait a minute, Donald Trump just delayed possible increase in tariffs on China. Why do I think that probably President Trump was thinking ahead that maybe if you had to, that would have been part of the consequences?
Well, because of what happened today, I think I don't have to think about that. Now, I may have to think about it in 2 weeks or 3 weeks or something, but we don't have to think about that right now. I think the meeting went very well.
All right. Do you ever think Hillary Clinton, the author of the bought and
Why is Hillary Clinton being brought up, dude?
paid for Russian disinformation dossier, the author of the Russia hoax, going into today would be saying she would nominate you for a Nobel Peace Prize? I don't think you ever expected that happening.
Well, I don't want to be involved in that sense, not because of her. It's very nice. If she said that, it's very nice. I really appreciate it, too, actually. But
she tried to ruin your life, and in many ways, she ruined 3 years of your life.
Well, she made
Aw, he's such a poor victim. Aw, little victim twum.
me stronger and tougher. And,
What
you
doesn't
are
kill
way
you
more
makes you
forgiving than me.
stronger. Stand a
Well, it
little
was a
taller.
sad chapter in our country's history. I will say that. Look,
Crazy
you can't
chapter.
run a country that way. Vladimir Putin said something, one of the most interesting things. He said your election was rigged because you have mail-in voting. He said mail-in voting, every election. He said no country has mail-in voting. It's impossible.
In Russia, if you vote against Putin, you get shot in the freaking head. They stand behind you with a gun as you vote in Russia. And Trump's going to listen to Russia for advice on elections after saying Zelensky's a dictator. All the lies about 2020 are Russian-driven propaganda. We know Russia hacked for materials to influence elections, but all the lines from MAGA comes right from Russia. It all comes from Russia. All the disinformation is designed by the Kremlin. It's not even done by MAGA. They get orders from other countries.
Possible to have mail-in voting and have honest elections. And he said that to me. It was very interesting because we talked about 2020. He said, you won that election by so much. And that's how he got it. He said, and if you would have won, we wouldn't have had a war. You'd have all these millions of people alive now instead of dead.
Oh, yeah,
and
sure.
he said,
yeah.
And you lost it
We'd
because of mail-in voting. It was a rigged election. But mail-in voting.
Wait, rigged election from mail-in voting now? I thought there were... Okay. By the way, for Trump in court, he could not get any court wins at all in 2020. Whenever he needed facts, he could not provide it. He is good at bullshit. He cannot provide a single fact. And now he's reiterating Russian propaganda. Russia's propaganda apparatus is focused towards tearing apart the countries they want to dominate. So America, they cause racial panic, race wars. They talk about wokeism. Like, look at Benny Johnson and Tim Pool. People paid for by Russian propaganda. We know by Russian shell companies, they got paid directly from Russian propaganda dollars. They push for civil war topics all the time. It's never coming together. It's always civil war. It's always the election was stolen. It's always you cannot trust democracy. They want to turn people globally against democracy. All right? They are enemies to freedom. And Trump is a dumb lackey for them. He believes anything they tell him. He's a lackey for them.
Sean, the politicians, I think I'm going to make it a big, I know the answer is that Jimmy Carter, years ago, along with Scoop Jackson and some others, they had a committee. Respected people,
Now
good committee. Jimmy
Carter?
Carter, good guy. You know, he's a good man. And the conclusion was you can't have mail-in voting. We have mail-in voting. It's so dishonest. They send stuff. Some people get 7 ballots.
Proof.
Look at California
Give
with
me
that horrible
proof.
governor they have. He's one of the worst
Hey,
governors in
Dingleberry,
history.
numbnuts,
He's
give me
incompetent.
proof.
He doesn't know what he's doing. They send out like
Dingleberry.
38 million ballots. Some people get 5, 6.
Yeah, bro. California had to cheat the election to beat you. You would have won. Oh, yeah. Trump actually believes he would have won California, by the way. Trump believes all this shit. He believes all of it.
7. But Vladimir Putin, smart guy, said you can't have an honest election with mail-in voting. And he said there's not a
This
country.
is pathetic for America. This is so pathetic for America. A literal dictator. He gets 90% of the vote. No opposition parties. He kills his opposition. They fall out of windows. Trump wants to be like him. Trump is brain dead, bro. He's actually a dumbass.
In the world that uses it now.
Well, I would love to see election reform.
We have to do it. I don't know why we're not doing it.
No, I'd
and
like
you
to
bring
see
it up. The Democrats.
Voter
Oh, wait. We're on Fox News right now. Fox got sued and had to do a $877 million settlement on this topic. I don't think Sean Hannity can comment very much.
Don't want it. Look, the
I
Republicans
forgot
want
about
it,
that.
but not strongly enough. I mean, they got to want it strong, because it can't be honest. It goes through a postman. It
is
goes through somebody
embarrassing.
else. You know, when you go to a really well-run voting booth, you go in, you have to hand a card, a picture, or this or that. You don't have everything perfect. You get sent back. Go get it. It's very hard to do something fraudulent with a vote.
Paper ballots.
Mail-in voting, they give you boxes of stuff. You have no idea where they came from. This mail-in voting, you can't have a great democracy, republic. You can't have it. Well, maybe that's why we're going to end up with a communist mayor in New York. I don't know. He probably is very happy.
Yo, shout out Zoran Mamdani, bro. Shout out Zoran Mamdani, making conservatives piss their pants every day.
With mail-in voting. But you can't have a great democracy with mail-in voting.
Imagine Biden or Obama or Bush or anyone having a press conference about a topic like this, a huge war with Russia in Alaska, unprecedented, huge historic meeting, and you have an interview about it. He says, "Oh, I wish we never talked because it went really bad. I'm afraid to talk about it." He called Putin the boss, essentially. He called Putin literally the boss earlier today. He said how warm Putin is, how amazing he is. He put the blame on Ukraine. And he mentioned 15 former presidents and other political enemies. What other president in such a serious conversation would mention their political enemies? From the Clintons to the Obamas to the Bidens to Jimmy Carter, like down the freaking list. Imagine.
Voter ID, signature verification, chain of custody controls, updated voter rolls, partisan observers watching the voting all day. The vote
That happens. That happens already. That happens already. That happens already. That is a thing.
counting all night. You do paper ballots, you pick a winner, and everyone goes home with confidence in the integrity.
For 10% of the cost.
Yep.
So if you do paper ballots,
It would be a lot more expensive. I don't know what the hell he's talking
it costs
about.
you 10% the cost of machines.
Oh yeah, I want to see those numbers. Okay, I think I'm done watching this. We can't live in a world. The world will not survive if you can lie like this and not be held accountable. Now, politicians can twist things. They can convince people to believe certain things and manipulate stories to be not as bad for them or worse for other people. But this level of complete bullshit, of complete just fake, we cannot survive as a country if people hear this and they're okay with it. This is the equivalent of asking what is 2 plus 2, and someone says, "Oh, it's 6." It's 6. And they want to shoot you if you say it's 4. Please drop a like, comment, and subscribe. Bad day in American history. Another bad day in American history. Hell yeah.